Hello friends! Today I suggest weaving together with me a flat plate with a diameter of 9 inches. In this video, you'll learn the entire weaving process with step-by-step explanations. This information will be useful for beginner weavers. My name is Elena. You're on the Weevyn channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's go! We will need approximately 110 pieces of moistened paper wine rods of one color. How to moisten rods and store them during weaving? See the separate video on the channel. Cutters, bamboo skewer or knitting needle, polymer glue, and ruler. Let's start weaving. Take 8 rods. This will be the stakes. Place them crosswise on top of each other. Press them down with your fingers from above, so they get fixed in this position. Take 2 rods. These are weavers. We'll connect them together. Even out their butts. And on one rod, cut the twisted end at a sharp angle. Into the other rod with only the even butt. Drop glue into the butt and then insert the sharp end of the other rod, screwing it in as far as possible. It's important not to tear the edge of the rod into the other rod in being inserted. Then bend the resulting long rod, slightly stepping back from the joining point, and fold them in half. This looks like a clamp. To start weaving, you need to put this clamp on any section of stakes from the 4 sections of stakes, seam down. Immediately mark the first stake with a pin. It will always show us the beginning of a new round. This is important. Check that the clamp fits tightly against the stakes. Then you need to weave the other section of stakes with pairing. Take the bottom weaver and bring it over the next pair of stakes, and bring the top weaver under this pair of stakes. This way the weavers weave around the double stakes from both sides. Don't forget to lay them tightly, otherwise the weaving pattern will get disrupted. Continue this way until the end of the first round of weaving. Attention! You can weave on the table, pressing the weaving to the table so it moves less, or in your hands. See what's more convenient for you. We've reached the beginning of the second round. Here we close the first round and separate each section of stakes into 2 pairs and weave around them. First, change the sequence of weavers. First, lay the top weaver down behind the pairs of stakes. Then put the bottom weaver on top. This needs to be done so the pattern aligns better. Second, separate the section of stakes into 2 and weave around them. Repeat this action with other stakes until the end of the second round. Close the second round. Change the sequence of weavers. First, lay the top weaver down behind the pairs of stakes. Then put the bottom weaver on top. Check that all stakes have 2 strokes. The withers have become short and need to be spliced. Make nail marks on the rods where they will pass behind the stakes rods. Cut the ends of the weavers at a sharp angle. Take new weavers, cut off the butt and add glue. And splice the weavers by screwing them in. This is what splicing looks like. So we start the third round. The top weavers always goes under a pair of stakes rods and then comes out on top. And so the weavers constantly alternate with each other. Lay the weavers tightly, continue weaving. Close the third round. Change the sequence of weavers. First lay the top weaver down behind the pairs of stakes. Then put the bottom weaver on top. Let's see how the splicing looks from the reverse side of the weaving. Always hide the splicing behind stakes rods, so it's not visible from the right side. Start the fourth round. Continue regular weaving the same way, alternating weavers up and down. It's better to weave on a cloth or paper base. This ensures good sliding on the table, and the reverse side of the weaving won't wear out. Again, the weavers have become short and need to be spliced. Make nail marks on the rods. Cut the ends of weavers at a sharp angle. Take new weavers, cut off the butt and add glue. And splice the weavers by screwing them in. Continue weaving. Close the fourth round before the first stake, as we did in previous rounds. Continue closing all subsequent rounds when weaving with pairing. Start the fifth round and weave it the same way. Before weaving the sixth round, insert new stakes. Take 8 rods, cut them in half and get 16 pieces of rods. Insert one rod on both sides of the existing pairs of stakes. Help separate the space of new stakes with a knitting needle. Watch how I do this and repeat. There is no need to add glue to the rods in this case. They will be well fixed by the weaving itself. So we added stakes, spliced the weavers, and start weaving the sixth round, with the sixth and seventh rounds independently. Don't forget to close each round. So we've woven the sixth and seventh rounds. Now we're closing the seventh round. And the eighth round starts with separating each stake, consisting of 4 stakes rods, into 2 pairs. You can separate the stakes by hand and with a knitting needle, whatever is more convenient for you. Try to maintain the tightness of weaving so all strokes are the same. Continue and weave the round and 6 more rounds independently. Don't forget to properly close each round and properly splice the rods. We've woven 6 rounds on these double stakes. Let's measure how much we've woven. So we have 5.5 inches. The finished item will be 9 inches. Accordingly, we still need to weave about 4 inches. Measurement is important for understanding when it's better to insert new stakes in advance or separate stakes. So the distance between our stakes increases with each new round, and we'll need to separate stakes in any case. Now we'll finish this round, and in the next round, 15th round, we'll separate the stakes. Start the 15th round. Separate the stakes and weave around each stake individually. Close the 15th round and continue weaving rounds 16 through 21 independently. We've woven round 15 to 18. Measure the weaving. We've woven 7 inches. Let's weave 3 more rounds. We've woven the 23rd round. The stakes are dry and short, so we cut them, because next we'll be making a border and we need moist rods for this. Cut dry stakes carefully so as not to damage the weaving itself. Insert new moist stakes into the weaving. Take 16 rods, cut them in half, get 32 rods. Then add a drop of glue to the end of each rod and insert it with that end into the weaving. Use a knitting needle to separate the space to the left of the cut stake stop to insert a new stake. Insert all new stakes around the circle this way. Insert the new stake to a depth of half an inch into the weaving. Add the third weaver to the weaving before the 2 weavers. Separate the space to the right of the stake. And insert the third weaver there. Then wrap it around the stake and bring the weaver up. Splice the existing 2 weavers if needed. Check that all weavers are brought up, as if peeking out from behind the weaving stakes. Next we'll weave 3-rod wale. So we start working with the leftmost weaver. Take it and tuck it behind the third stake, or behind the first free stake to the right, and bring it back up. Then again, take the leftmost weaver and tuck it behind the third stake. Repeat this pattern with all weavers. Try to maintain the tension of the weaving with your hands, so the weaving doesn't fall apart. We've reached the end of the round. We need to close it and hide the weavers in the weaving. We don't need them anymore. Start closing the round with the rightmost weaver. It makes the same step as before. To the third stake throw two other stakes, but gets caught and hide before the third stake in the weaving. Then again, take the rightmost working stake and repeat the same actions and hide the weavers before the third stake the same way. Cut the weavers so that a tail of 1/2 inch remains, which will be inserted into the weaving. You can add a drop of glue to the end of the rod, so it's more securely fixed in the weaving. And the last rod should be hidden before the stake marked with a pin. Check that the pattern repeats everywhere, is the same, then everything is done correctly. Let's start the final border. Our task is for the second to last and last rounds to look like a braid. You can start from any place. You'll do the same actions as in the previous round. Take the first stake and lean it to the right along the weaving. Count 2 stakes and before the third stake make a bend on the rod and cut it so that a 1/2 inch tail remains after the bend. This tail will be inserted into the weaving. At its base, reserve space for the last stake in this round, which will complete the round. Insert the rod stop before the third stake. Separate the space with a knitting needle. You can use glue if you doubt that the weaving will hold. Then take the next leftmost stake and lay it to the right parallel to the weaving. Cut and insert its tip before the third stake. Do this with the remaining stakes. We'll close the last stakes together. Three stakes remains to close. Lean the leftmost stake to the right and cut it the same way. Insert it before the third stake in the weaving, as we did with other stakes. Help separate the space with a knitting needle so the rod easily inserts into the weaving. Take the next leftmost stake, lean it to the right, find the third stake. It's already hidden in the weaving. The third stake will be a reference point where this rod will be inserted ultimately. Insert this rod into the reverse space from top to bottom. The pattern has a line. Cut the rod and hide its tip in the weaving as I show. And the last rod is inserted into the braid behind two strokes, next to the third stake. The pattern should align. Be careful. Then turn the weaving over and on the reverse side, cut the rod and hide its end in the weaving. The plate is finished. Check the weaving once more. Adjust. Check the weaving from the reverse side too. If something is sticking out somewhere, tuck it in carefully with a knitting needle while the weaving is still moist. If you want the edges of the plate to be slightly higher, they can be raised by bending the edge of the plate upwards. Then in this position, the plate needs to be dried and covered with a thin layer of acrylic varnish for strength. We are finished.